We know very little about Simeon. We don't know where Simeon was born. We don't know who Simeon's relatives were. We don't know what Simeon did for a living. We don't know what Simeon's house looked like. We don't even know if Simeon was rich or poor. But what we do know is Simeon was somewhat of a sentinel, for he had been placed in Israel to point to when the Christ would come. Simeon was watching for God to send the Christ, the Messiah, the one who would deliver his people from their sin. I can just picture him going to the temple every day to look for the Lord's Christ. He would look at every Hebrew and ask if this was the one. But the wait was over on the day that he saw Jesus. He lifted the child in his arms and said, "My eyes have seen your salvation, that you have prepared in the presence of all peoples." Simeon recognized that he was finally looking at the salvation that God had sent. Because when Simeon held Jesus in his arms, he said, "My eyes have seen your salvation." He was saying, here is the one, the only one, who is able to save in a way that no one else could or can. Jesus is God. Jesus is a man, and yet he is sinless and he is love. Jesus did not come to provide a holiday, to sing carols or drink eggnog, feast or exchange gifts. But we are right to do these things because Jesus brought joy and peace, which makes Christmas a celebration. For Simeon, Jesus was salvation. And Christmas asks, who is Jesus to you? Is Jesus your salvation? Is he your light? Is he your glory? Is he your long-awaited answer to prayer? You might not be sure, and you might wonder how you could be sure. If Jesus is your salvation, then you will think about him, talk about him, and tell others about him. Your life would raise Jesus on high and proclaim to everyone, here he is. He has arrived. Noel, Christ the Lord is born.
Christ the Lord is born.
They knew that it was the sign the king had been born, and so they moved in the direction to find him. The star in the sky that the wise men saw was obviously not an ordinary star. It must have been different from all the others. It might have been larger or brighter. It might have moved in a certain way. Maybe it looked like a comet that had a head and a vapor-like tail. We don't know for sure, but it was different. The wise men were educated men, and they knew the stars well from years of studying them. In addition, they were searching the heavens on a daily basis, asking God for a sign. So when the light appeared, they immediately knew that the star had come from God himself, because it was so different and so unusual. These men had traveled thousands of miles, following that star that would ultimately lead them to the king. And perhaps after years of travel, they arrived and each presented gifts which they had brought. The gold offering was the usual offering for a king. Frankincense is a costly and fragrant gum distilled from a tree in India. Myrrh is an aromatic spice produced from a thorn bush that grew in Ethiopia. These gifts were brought all the way from the east, and they were the very best that they had to offer. The wise men saw the light of the star and followed the light to find the king. And now that same light continues to shine in each of Jesus' followers. Jesus reminds us in Matthew that we are the light of the world. So do not resign to being an ordinary star. Be different from all the other stars. This Christmas, shine in the darkness. Shine bright for others to follow. Shine clear so that others will know the way.